Welcome back. In this video, I want to begin talking about why do we struggle? I made a video a while back and I was at one of my favorite places in nature, the creek running in the background, which was just so lovely. And I wanted to make another video sort of in that same light, that why we struggle is often not what we think. And I would be curious to hear from anyone who wants to share, why do you think you're struggling? So if you're dealing with a high level of stress, maybe you have anxiety, maybe you have health issues, and maybe you're overall just not feeling very satisfied with your life. And sometimes we feel like we should be grateful, like we can look at our life and if we compare it to other people who maybe don't have the opportunities and whatnot that we have, we can feel, for one thing, we can feel badly that we have it better and we should just be grateful, but we can't make ourselves feel grateful, right? We kind of old school thought, I would say it's old school thought these days, is just think positive. Just shut off all those negative thoughts, just learn to be grateful. That could work, but it doesn't always seem to work. I know for me, if I was really struggling and just trying to ignore whatever the thoughts and then the feelings that come with it and just think positive, it's just avoiding. Sometimes it's just like numbing that out, blocking it out, compartmentalizing. Short term, that can be helpful. And there is a time and a place to do that. But long term, if we never really get connected with what we're really feeling, not with the intention to follow it as truth. So like if negative thoughts are coming in, or like self-critical thoughts, shoulds often come in that form where I should be doing this and I should be more successful. Like, why can't I do that like other people are doing it? Because it can look like everybody else has it figured out. Do you ever feel like that? Everyone's got it sort of figured out. It looks like they're not struggling. And the truth is, we're all struggling. Some people are just not really open about that. And I felt kind of crummy about myself for a really long time because especially comparing myself to other women who look like they've got it all figured out, particularly when I became a mom. And the women who had the career and they seemed to be really good at that, and it seemed on the outside that parenting, like it just seemed like they just didn't act stressed, it just was like, wow, some people maybe just don't talk about it. I think that's the case a lot of the time. And certainly in my work helping people over many years, yeah, on the outside, they would say, no one knows I'm struggling. No one knows I'm hurting like I am. No one knows that I feel insecure, because we compensate for that by overachieving, by working harder. And it really wears us down over the years. So I wanted to make this video to open a dialogue about this. We all need someone to talk to, not just to vent and say how hard it really is, but but from a place of more intention to change it. We want to validate it, honor what's coming up for you, but then holding an awareness that that's not who you are. It's what you feel. And it's what you feel in reference to a story. And I'm going to be talking more about how we all have a story. The story of we all have traumas. Some of them were bigger, and often it's the littler ones, like repeated over time, not even just repeated, but experienced over time. The times that you were left out in your friend group, singled out by a teacher, you got a look from your parent, a look of disappointment or disapproval. And right then and there, we often sort of, split off or separate from the loving beings that we are. And we start to believe we're not good enough. And so it starts very young. And we hold this through the years of growing up. And then once we become adults, and this is the work that I do with people that I just love. I love to help people pinpoint some of these things, but we don't have to go through all of it to feel better. But if we can start creating some distance, some separation, and get like a bird's eye view, that pattern that's running, where my belief system is this and where my thoughts tell me this, that's not the truth of who I am. And you can start experiencing when you use the tools. One of my favorite tools, and I'm going to have some videos coming about this, is the heart coherence, guided visualizations. And this is backed by science, that it literally can change the chemistry of your body over time when used regularly, that you can feel a sense of warmth and love and connection by connecting with your heart area. And it's so powerful. It's just so peaceful and calming to get out of your head. And it can take some practice, but when done consistently, and you just start a little bit every day, and you do what you can, because your mind often doesn't want to shut off. It doesn't want to stop doing and shoulding and telling you how you're not good enough because you didn't get this thing done and regretting things from your past. Learning to be in the now, this is where well-being exists. You can't access it anywhere else. And so we are all coping the best that we can. And that's okay. But if you want to experience something different, or you want to experience change, you got to do something different. And there's so many options. What I teach is by no means all of it, not even a fraction. But I just want to share what I have found that is really super helpful. And I just invite questions. I invite if you want to reach out to me for a free phone consultation. I can help you make a plan. I would love to create some groups and do some YouTube live. And let's support each other. Let's support each other. Not from a place of powerlessness where we're just blaming everything outside of us, but honoring what we're feeling without blame. And that might be a really new concept for a lot of people. Or maybe this is something that you've been hearing, you've been tuning into, that you're aware of. Awareness, nothing can change without awareness. And then choice. We've got to choose something different. And we got to get stuff out of the way of what's preventing us from showing up in the world as the real you. And that does not mean full disclosure. We don't have to share everything about ourselves. Some people feel like, well, I got to own up to my past. No, you just show up right now. You decide who you want to be. And then what does that look like? What would you be talking about if you were showing up as the you that you want to be? What feels good to you? What lights you up? These are things we're all often so stuck in working and grinding and getting things done that we are not experiencing life. We're rarely fulfilled by those things. If you are, wonderful. If you can achieve something and really relish in that and let that be felt throughout your body, that's wonderful. Keep doing that. But most of us, we do stuff, we're like, what's the next thing? I'm going to be creating a series on the to-do list, that we're held hostage by our to-do lists. And what's not on the to-do list is fun and joy and calm. And what do I get to do for me today? That's a prerequisite in my life. I no longer have to work all day and wait until whatever, 5 o'clock to enjoy my day. I take my lunchtime, even if I'm sitting outside for 5 minutes and playing with my dogs. Like, that's joy for me. So whatever's joy for you. You may have access to things you can do readily near your home, but you don't have to travel far to go do that. There's so many options, and I want to share my ideas, and I would love for any of you, if you want to share what works for you to create that peace in your body and that calm and well-being. I'd love to know what that is. I'd love to learn new ideas and new ways. It's just wonderful. And if we can create this sort of home base sort of place where we can support each other, that would just be amazing. So feel free to share this video with anyone who might really benefit from hearing it. And let's create a community of amazing, loving, heart-centered spiritual women who know there's more to life and want to create it. That's all for now, and thank you so much.